This is reason number 5,742 why I hate dealing with the sports card hobby and the stupidity involved with it. I just bought this Ken Griffey Jr. auto on eBay. I paid over $100 for this because you can't find Ken Griffey Jr. autos for less than that. Paid over $100 for this, and this is how the guy shipped it. Bubble mailer, top loader, boom. Dropped it right in, sent this to me. No cardboard, no bubble wrap, nothing else. And this is exactly one of the reasons why I also started my own sports card website, yoursportscards.com, because then when you guys buy cards, you won't have to deal with stuff like this. The guy then wanted to message me back and forth on eBay because I left him neutral feedback. I didn't even leave him negative feedback, which I should have done. I left him neutral feedback because of the way that he shipped this card, and now he wants to have this crazy back and forth, which I'm about to share with you guys. So before we get into our message exchange back and forth, in case you guys think I am the worst guy ever and making a huge deal out of this, I'm going to throw up the eBay page right here that I bought this from. It is One Stop Jersey Shop 91. So if I am totally in the wrong and you hate me for saying this, go to this person's eBay page, buy out all their inventory, help them get as much sales as humanly possible. But I was very frustrated that somebody would take a $100 plus single card and just drop it into a bubble mailer and send it to me with absolutely no protection. Now, in his defense, it did get here okay, but we have all seen, and I have had several cards that I've either mailed or received in the mail get completely crushed by USPS, even if they're in a one-touch. I had one that was in a one-touch one time that was wrapped in bubble wrap that somehow they crushed the entire one touch and bent the card in two, then had to do a refund to the buyer, so I was out the card and the money, which absolutely sucks. So this shit happens. It's exactly why you need to take so much care. But let's go ahead and jump into the messages sent back and forth, because as soon as I received this, I left neutral feedback, again, not negative, and then, of course, 15 seconds later, I get a message from this seller, and here's what he has to say. So instantly received this message back from the seller when I left the neutral feedback. Why did you leave it neutral? Card was sent in a semi-rigid with a penny sleeve, which that's not a semi-rigid, that's just a top loader, and tape to make sure that it doesn't slip out of the bubble mailer, which is true. There was a piece of scotch tape folded over the top, which I also can't stand, but we won't even get into that. I told him it's a $100 card in a top loader, no cardboard, no bubble wrap, horrible way to ship cards. This guy says that's pretty much the standard way to ship any card, which if this is a low value card, if this is like a $1 to $10 card and you don't care if it gets damaged because you're willing to just refund the money and be out the card if something happens to it, I get it. I send a lot of like $1, $3, $4 cards like this, totally fine. When someone's willing to spend with you, you know, $100+ on a single card, which I'm sure he's making a little bit of money on. So let's say he's making 10, 15% on a $120 purchase or something. He's making 10, 15, 20 bucks. And if he's got a ton of things listed, you know, this is just kind of how the hobby goes, right? But you want to protect the card so that you're not out just in case USPS happens to damage it, which we see all the time. So anyways, he says this is a pretty much standard way to do it. I can't stand when people ship me a card and it's taped like 4 times, different things. One end, I come up creasing the card, trying to remove it from the cardboard. There are super easy ways, right? If you just take this top loader, put it into a team bag and fold that over, it seals off so you don't have any tape right there. And then put it between 2 pieces of cardboard or put some bubble wrap around it and then tape that on the outside. All the person has to do is just cut the tape on either the cardboard or on the bubble wrap, and the whole team bag comes right out, and then you just open it and the card's in there. I don't understand what is so hard about this. If you ship cards like this, stop doing this. This is ridiculous. And then he says, I guess it's preferability, but I don't see an issue with it. So then, of course, you know, my response to this is I just want your customers to know what to expect when they spend over $100 with you. Do better, man. And of course they say, shaking my head, thank you, I appreciate it, with the little salute. And then he, you know, can't stop there, can't just take the feedback or the criticism and just accept this and say, hey, I messed up, I should have protected a little bit better. He's got to come back at me and say, this is why the hobby is going to crap. So of course, then that lights a fire under me, and now I want to get back at this guy because he's the one that packaged this thing horribly and didn't take the time to consider his customers who were spending the money with him and didn't bother to protect this card in any way, shape, or form. So I said, yeah, because guys like you toss a card worth $100 into an envelope and think that's okay to ship. Have some standards. And this is so true. Like in anything you do in life, have some freaking standards, okay? Nobody's going to hold you to a standard. You have to do it yourself. If I expect somebody to ship me something in a way that's going to arrive safely and secure and I'm not going to have any issues, then I have a responsibility and a duty to do that back to you guys to make sure that your cards are there. And again, if something happens to it, I don't want to be out the card and the money. So I'm covering my own ass and I'm helping you guys out by getting you your card. But obviously this guy, he doesn't understand this. And I said, would you spend money on a nice card and want it shipped like that? It's a horrible way to do business, and that's why the world is the way that it is. This has nothing to do with the hobby in general. This has to do with the freaking planet and the reason why things are in such a decline. Nobody takes responsibility. Nobody cares. Nobody understands the value of protecting things and doing things the right way. It literally takes like an extra 5 seconds to do this, which gets to my next point here. I told him, you're either too lazy or don't care to take the extra 10 seconds to properly protect it, yet you want to sell something online and make money selling a product to your customers, which I think is absolutely pathetic. And it is. If you can't take the extra 10 seconds, there's no extra cost involved with this. Every card that you buy, unless you're buying everything exclusively in person, comes with, typically, bubble wrap, cardboard, bubble mailers, all sorts of extra things. It is so cheap and a lot of times free to repurpose materials like that you can use for packaging and for shipping. So if you can't take the extra 10 seconds, you're either too lazy and consumed by other things and maybe shouldn't be trying to buy and sell these types of things, full time or whatever, or selling these things online at all, or you think that it's not worth it and there's no value in that for your customers, and your customers aren't going to come back because when they see that other people have left feedback, and this person doesn't have 100% positive feedback either, which already kind of gives you an idea of how they do business, but people are going to see that feedback that was left and say, do I want to buy a $100 to $200 to $300 card from this person, or do I want to go to someone who has 100% feedback that we know is going to ship and protect the card properly? Kind of a no-brainer. So stop being like this. If you guys want to buy and sell cards in the hobby or do anything in life, do it the right way and stop cutting freaking corners and then arguing with your customer who spent money with you when they give you some kind of feedback or criticism on the way that you do something. Maybe step back and look in the mirror and say, could I have done that better? Yeah, I probably could have. So anyways, that's all for today's nonsense in the hobby. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and I will catch you next time.